Welcome to Poul's Kitchen. It's Chef Poul with me, Chef Amy.
Hi.
Today I'm going to do a quick video on butterscotch fudge. Now this is not a sugar-free recipe, but it is it's a low sugar recipe. So it's going to take a little bit of digging. You're going to have to find some things that are going to be a little hard to find. We got some low sugar butterscotch chocolate chips, except there's no chocolate in them. And then I've got lower sugar condensed milk, and I got some butter. So in a pan, I've got a 1/4 cup of butter, and then I'm going to dump this in, but I'm going to use my spoon so that I can get it all out, because if you don't, then it's going to be a pain. Now, in a pan, you're going to grease it a little bit on the bottom, put some parchment paper. You don't need parchment paper or the grease for that matter. However, it's going to help stick, and you want that. I'm not going to say this should be a staple in anybody's diet. It's not healthy by any means. It really isn't, because it does require a 1/4 stick of butter, and that means we're going to be eating butter. And when I say we, I kind of mean this is going to be given away to Charmaine later, most likely. It takes about 30 minutes to set, and it's not that hard. It's actually pretty easy, pretty quick, pretty effortless, so it's going to be really cool. So we're going to sit this on the burner here, and we're going to bring this to a boil and get the butter all melted, so that's important. Now, the recipe calls for 2.5 cups, which is pretty much, it's a little less. The bag, it's one bag, and I'm not going to buy another bag just to finish. It's not cheap.
No.
Butterscotch and toffee are pretty much the same thing. Toffee is made with about 5 cups of white sugar, and butterscotch is 5 cups of brown. Now, you can make this easily enough by substituting with stevia, but stevia is sweeter than sugar, so, and you kind of need the quantity of the sugar to make what you need.
Right.
So it's, no matter how you do it, it's going to be, it's not going to work as well. And you know what? I don't need this.
Okay.
You want us to keep stirring this because it's we don't want anything to start melting. Or we want it to melt, pardon, but we don't want anything to burn. So we want to get the butter all melted, and then what we want is we want it to come to a boil, and then we're pretty much done a lot of it, really.
Then you add the chocolate chips, or the butterscotch chips, I mean.
Butterscotch chips, yes. I found the easiest way to make this with a butterscotch treat, and again, I am saying as a disclaimer that this is not sugar-free.
Far from it.
And it's definitely not a healthy item, but every now and again, everybody likes fudge, so it's nice to have that. Am I going to have a piece of this? Probably I'll have a piece. I'm giving most of this away. And I would probably wait a little bit, but I really want to get this done because, quite frankly, I love butterscotch. I'm absolutely in love with it. So I want to get this done as soon as possible. So you want to make sure that you're stirring this quite good. Now Amy's also cooking steak, as you see over here. I'm gonna give her a few little hints on what she could have done to make this easier for herself. This is already seasoned and already has some grease.
Oh.
And cast iron works a whole lot better.
Oh well, too late now.
So what I might suggest to Amy is turn her heat off and transfer the steak into the cast iron, or tell me I'm allowed to do it for her. And wait until we're done this, and then she can take this burner over with cast iron and have steak on cast iron. Yeah, I thought so. It's just much better. Cast iron, guys, is where it's at when cooking steak. Just saying. It's already got some grease in there, so we don't need to go too crazy with anything else. In fact, I'm going to tell Amy not to dare wash that pan out because I'm going to use it later when I cook mine. She has to go to work today. I'm homesick. I'm taking a couple seizures today, so it's not a good day. And one of the reasons that I'm doing this now is because I actually have supervision here. I don't need Amy to babysit me to cooking per se, but when I'm having issues, it's responsible to have somebody else around so they can watch me and make sure, not that I'm going to screw the meal up, but...
And we don't think Chef Alex is awake.
Yeah, so that if something happens to me, someone's here to make sure that I'm not going to burn the house down.
Yeah.
Which is pretty important. So we can see that it's almost melted. Now, if you want to make this a little bit easier, you can melt the butter in advance in a microwave. But if you know Chef Paul at all, you know that Chef Paul hates the microwave.
Plus, ours is dying anyway.
Which is no harm to me. I mean, I throw it in the garbage today if I was allowed. I don't like the microwave. My grandmother, God bless her soul, I miss her. She actually, what she would do is she would store pictures in her microwave, but she would never actually use it. Go figure, right? So I'm going to turn the heat up to 6. As long as you're stirring this, it shouldn't be too big a deal. Now, in this, I would normally say, I would usually prefer margarine over butter, unless for certain things. If I'm cooking steak and I want that kind of effect, I would rather have butter.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And then salted butter. Why? Because you can control the salt if you want salt. And I like being in control of my salt.
Yeah.
It's far better. Okay, now it's just coming up to a boil. Now I'm going to turn the volume off, or the heat off. I'm going to put a little bit of tablespoon of vanilla extract.
To give it a little bit of flavor.
Yep. And then I'm going to put butterscotch in. And I'm going to start stirring this because we want to make sure these are all melted. And we're back, and you want to be a little bit quick with this, so it's not. So please hit the share, like, subscribe button. Again, remember this is not a recipe of that it's going to be healthy. So don't start thinking that it is. It's 12:20, so by 1 o'clock we're to come in. We're going to start cutting. And we good. Oh yeah, that tastes great. I'm excited. Mm-hmm. Really excited. So we'll be back. So please hit that share, like, subscribe, and visit us at www.poulskitchen.com. 2, 3. Welcome back. So let's hit that like, share, subscribe button. Or Amy said she's going to do some really nasty things with this knife.
No.
It's pretty sharp, but that's not why it happened.
No.
So this is our pudding. Or pudding. This is, see, I'm not exactly sure that I want to do this yet. I'm probably going to put this in the freezer. But at this point, it's pretty much done. See a little bit here, and that's just a few burns, so it's not a big deal. But at this point, you just cut, and good. Now, one hint when you go to cut this, run some hot water and get this nice and hot, and then cut it. Have some parchment paper cut, tinfoil cut, something, so you can wrap it individual.
Yeah.
Right? So at this point, it's cooled down enough. I'm going to set this in the freezer, and I'll cut this later.
Yeah.
I'm not in a big rush for this. But how's this look, guys? I mean, like, seriously, this is our fudge.
It looks really good.
I mean, Amy, can you smell this?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, to me, this smells heavenly. It really does. And again, this is lower sugar, but it's not no sugar.
No.
So, Amy, you can't just come home from work tonight behind my back and eat it all by yourself.
No, I won't.
The old Amy would probably do that, but Amy's a lot smarter than that, and that's a joke because I know she wouldn't do that, right? But guys, especially if you're diabetic, please don't do that. It's not smart. So just be patient, and cut this up and, eat a piece every now and again, give some away. You have a work function where people want to want you to bring food. Well, here you go.
Yeah.
That was easy. It was super easy, super fast, not that bad.
No.
So I hope you like this. Please hit the like, share, subscribe button. And as always, stay safe. And please don't forget to go to www.poulskitchen.com. We have our books up there. We really appreciate it. If there's any old recipes you like, drop a comment. Join us on WhatsApp, IRC. We have lots of different methods that you can talk to us. Have a great day.